Let's see what these guys do. Okay, the modern defense. Okay, so, or you might even say it could become an accelerated dragon. He takes. So black can triple the pawns, but probably not a good idea. Black will probably play something like this.
Check.
No, he took. Okay, why did I say it probably wouldn't be a good idea? Well, he's giving up his bishop too early. You know, white has some good places to plant his queen, maybe. Okay, so he's going to get his pawn back. This is the time to develop. Now, white's only up a pawn. Black is threatening to win one of them. So, probably the safest course is just to play bishop d2. Although bishop b2 merits consideration, trying to get that bishop on this diagonal. Let's see what white does. Well, I was looking at that. Oh, yeah, well, you're on the rook. Okay. So this gets very tricky. Knight f6, is e5 worth anything? And then this is coming. What's white's plan? To bring the queen over here? If you're going to do that, you need to do it now. But then if the queens are traded, you drop this, and I think all these extra pawns of whites are targets. And he did that. So, like I say, I think these pawns are targets. So black plays knight takes e4. So we have an even number of pawns. This is kind of similar. Here, let me show you. With colors reversed, novices will try to hold on to this pawn. This is no good. Okay, they just seem to think I can win a pawn and keep it, but you know, white just gets all kinds of play here. You know, and you know, black's getting in trouble here, and then his a pawn is going to be vulnerable. So I've talked about being familiar with different openings and seeing how their patterns match. Doesn't white's pawn structure look a lot like what I just showed for black? That's why, you know, when I said queen b4, I saw this pawn structure and I knew it was that black would have play on the pawns. Okay, that's all. So now, let's see. It's white to move. Everything's at home, so we got to develop something. Black doesn't have a threat, so let's play knight f3. Okay, we attack the knight. All right, now a good move for black might be to play d5 here. We'll look at it if he doesn't. Okay, this is fine too, but here's my idea. The first idea is that if white takes en passant, the knight just comes back here and black's got a couple of decent looking files to operate on, and white's queenside pawns look a little weak. Okay, you know, I could be wrong. Let's see. But you know, we have to think of white needs his development. Okay. You know, knight f3. You know, black can get a lot of activity, you know, on those center files. The only other alternative is on d5 is that takes, but now we've taken away the best square for this knight, and you know, black still has ways to play against those pawns. White has a 4-2 queenside majority with a set of double pawns. Black has a 5-3 pawn majority with a set of double pawns. So this is a very interesting imbalance. Now, nothing wrong with this. This is fine. Now, why did he choose to go here rather than a better square? Could be where he's trying to go with this thing. Maybe he's trying to go here. We'll see what happens. Okay, so both sides have their king safe. But it's time for black to start activity against these pawns with b6. Well, not yet. Now b6. There you go. Okay. So black does have a weak pawn here. Black, in compensation for it, has the A file. White has a target. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be working out quite like I thought it might for black. Okay, go back. So black's got a couple of interesting knights there. Nice and powerful. Centralized. Here's the C file. That's why one of the reasons I liked D5 better for black instead of knight back to F6. Now, this is fascinating. I think white should have taken the other way. Maintain the balance here. See, here, this pawn remains a target. Let's see, maybe he was going to lose that way. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we just take this off. Yeah, I guess we just take that off. Okay. These knights are just so good.
Check.
Now maybe white's going to try A5 here and get a couple of pawns rolling. This pawn's in trouble, though. Let's see. Now, can black take that guy? He does. Okay, so it's up to white to prove he can hold this, because right now he's down a pawn. They're doing okay on the time. Black a little too quick. Okay, so let's stop and think about this for a second. Black is not only a pawn ahead, he's got a pass pawn. He has a 5-3 majority. He has control of the only mutual open file. Okay, there's an E file white's not occupying. There's an A file black is not occupying. How does black win this? Well, what he needs, he's got the center pawns. He needs to find a way to get these pawns up here and bring this king this direction. Don't need to try to win another pawn right now. With control of the file, this white rook is devoid of counterplay. So the next question to think about is this knight hung out to dry? Let's see. Let's back this up. Okay. What if white played here? Is this knight in trouble? I mean, see, I see that 4 of his 6 squares are covered. Maybe he gets out, but it's not all that clear how this knight gets out. You still can't leave, but and white can't bring his king across without clearing a room on E2. If black does this maneuver to get out, he may find himself getting pinned. I mean, it looks a little shaky here for black, as strong as much as I like his game. So maybe black should have played D5 here. That way, if rook D4, you can play this, and this has to be good for black. I'm thinking. We force this knight to take a blockading role, and then we have a 4-3 majority. Let's start getting the king in the game for both sides. But notice the white king. He's stuck. He can't come any closer. So let's see. Let's go this way with him. And if he comes up here, black's building up, a nice space advantage. He's just going to push white back. And if he comes back here, I think white's going to lose this king and pawn ending. So d6 is playable, but it's time to get the king over and get these pawns rolling, like I was saying. Okay, well, strategically, this is probably not the right choice. We don't need that pawn to win the game. Now, white can fight for the c-file now. Coming back to these ideas, rook d4, and chase the knight. That knight may be very, very vulnerable here. How much time did black take on the move? Well, he took 59 seconds, almost a minute. But black also has a time advantage. Black could have stopped and thought for a minute here. So, we had control of the file. Why give it up? Why give it up? Okay. We don't need this pawn to win. It's going to always stay weak. So he defends, but I think this, this might have been a better defense. If you take it, this knight is pinned. And, we're going to play something like this. You don't want to play necessarily this because he breaks the pin and counterattacks. Okay, so we come up here. Now this is a threat. And, well, let's see. Always something to burst my balloon. Okay, well, this pin is a nuisance. I guess might have to use the king to come over there. If we can. And I think the moment the king walks into a check, though, the black rook checks and he can move the knight, but the knight's still limited in where that knight can go. So I don't think this was, I don't think either side played quite correctly. And now black smartly comes back to the c-file. And don't tell me they're going to draw by repetition. Oh no. Okay, well, it's a team match thing. It might be that for the sake of the team, sometimes we give draws in superior positions. So I don't know. I don't have the answer. Let's see. I can look. Let's see. Look at the Team 45 website. No, black needed to play for a win here. I don't know when the game's completed, but two people agreed to a draw without playing. Two other people drew, and then the game we just looked at, Chess Fist versus City Prosecutor. So, black can't give a draw here. He can't afford to give a draw here. It costs his team the match. Okay, if black wins this, the match is tied, and I think they play another round. So this was a win. In theory, this is a win for black. And I was trying to demonstrate the method of doing it. Advance the center pawns and bring the king up. And there was some danger with that knight on b4, but you don't win if you don't try. Okay, so I'm going to stop this recording.